Yo, what is up, my friends? It's your boy Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We're back with your best bets for NFL Sunday Week 5 on Sunday, October 5th, 2025, covering the 1 and 4 o'clock games. We're going to have 6 picks total in the video that I think are great value bets for this NFL Sunday. We're going to have additionally a couple of parlays as well. So let's get it locked in and get a sweep here in Week 5 of the NFL.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that cab made now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of you guys' support as always. Let's get after it here and have a great weekend in the NFL. We got a loaded weekend of college football and baseball. The playoffs are going. So make sure you guys check out all the content going on around the channel. We got baseball and college football also covered. So make sure you guys check out those videos. And we'll also have a Sunday night video coming out. That'll be out Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So keep that in mind as well. So let's have a big weekend here, guys. Let's first do a recap from our last NFL video, which was on Thursday. We ended up going 1-2, minus 1.19 units. Obviously, was not our greatest night. What a game that was, though. I don't think many people had the 49ers winning with all those injuries on the road on Thursday night and on their bingo card. That hurt a lot of people. So, definitely was a game that went against the game script of what we wanted. And obviously, we had the Rams minus 6.5, which missed. We did cash Tutu Atwell over 8.5 receiving yards. We talked about the value on his line. He ended up having 70 plus again. So you could have made some crazy money on his lines if you took him for 50. We took him for up to 25 in that parlay, which hit. But we missed on the Corum getting 50 rushing yards. Blake Corum over on rushing yards. His first carry was 13 yards. His second touch, he fumbled. He just completely dropped it, which I think led to him not getting any more carries after that, because then he came in a few plays after that and dropped a screen pass. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, just do the easy things. If you don't even have to gain 10 yards on every carry, but dude, at least catch the football. So that was very disheartening because I felt like he would have cashed if he didn't have that early fumble. They obviously went away from him. And the Rams in general went away from the run. Williams under actually hit, which was surprising. They obviously went away from the run, though, with the way that game was going, with the Niners leading most of that game. So it was a very weird game, guys. And honestly, I thought we were on point as far as with our player props. Obviously wasn't on point with the spread because they 49ers won outright, even with all the injuries. So pretty crazy night. As far as our comment cappers, though, we had a bunch of call-outs in the chat, actually, that hit. We had got to get the bag calling the Rams team total under 27.5. That cashes. Lit Picks calling Kyron Williams 50-plus rushing yards parlay with Devontae Adams 40-plus receiving yards. That cashes. And Eric Me calling Kyron Williams 50-plus rushing yards with Christian McCaffrey 40-plus rushing yards. So great calls from our comment cappers, guys. You guys did terrific once again there in the chat. Make sure you guys drop your favorite pick for this weekend down below as well. Let me know what you guys are playing. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick. And then in our next video on Thursday night, we'll include your pick in our comment capper section if it hits. You guys know the drill with that. Outside of that, guys, let's get after it this week. Make sure you guys check out the links down below. Consider becoming a member here at the channel if you guys are interested in that. It's just $3.99 per month. You get access to all of our picks and our plays early. Outside of that, let's get right into our picks. At number 1, we are going with the Miami Dolphins money line here versus the Carolina Panthers. We got minus 115 odds here on ESPN Bet. So the spread on this game obviously is a little surprising. I think obviously, the Panthers have been pretty bad this season. The Dolphins obviously just got their first win last week, so you can't say they've been phenomenal either. Although the Dolphins last couple weeks have looked a lot better, right? Played much better up in Buffalo a couple weeks ago on Thursday night. Was very competitive in that game. And then they got the first win of the season last week versus the Jets, where they pretty much actually controlled that game throughout. They ended up getting up by a couple of scores. Jets made it a little bit interesting late, but for the most part, Dolphins were in control of that one, despite the Tyreek Hill injury. So you guys know Darren Waller just came out of retirement and joined the Dolphins, and he made a huge impact in his first week, catching 2 touchdowns, which you love to see that. So can the Dolphins survive without Tyreek Hill? I think it's yes. I think Waller looked great to me. That was the thing I was kind of looking at to see, how was this guy going to look? He looked like his old Raider days. The way he got off the line, made a couple great catches at the back of the end zone. So that's really a big thing for this Miami team. They have a bona fide red zone target now that they can rely on in the red zone to go along with some of the speed that they still have in Achane and Waddle. So I think they're going to be fine, honestly. As far as winning a game like this versus a Panther team that's honestly pretty bad. The Panthers, the last few years have just been putrid, really on both sides of the ball. Really no other way to say it. They had one kind of anomaly game a couple weeks ago versus the Falcons where they won 30-0. I don't see nothing like that happening again. If that happens again, I'll eat my words. But I think the Dolphins here on the road are the play. Like I said, Darren Waller coming in. I think he'll continue to make a big impact. And he's going to get a lot of opportunities. And they saw, obviously, what he could do with the 2 touchdown catches. And that's just his first game. Just getting into the offense. So he's had a whole nother week to get used to the system. I expect that to pay dividends here as well. But on the offensive side of the ball, Panthers are 9th worst in yards per game, and they score the 7th fewest points. Bryce Young ranks 32nd in EPA out of 36 qualifying quarterbacks, which is horrible, and also 33rd in air yards among 36 qualifying quarterbacks as well. So that's pretty bad. Obviously, they're not getting much from this passing offense. They have to rely so much on the run. And here, I think the Dolphins can kind of make them one-dimensional. Despite the Dolphins' defense not being the greatest, I think the Panthers are just simply that bad. And I think they're going to have a hard time. And I think the Dolphins here are just simply more explosive. They're going to have more consistency. I trust Tua a lot more than I trust Bryce Young. And I trust, honestly, the Dolphins' running game a bit more here with Devon Achane going up against this Panthers run defense that's allowing 5.4 yards per carry this season. So this is a great spot on the fence, guys. Give me the Miami Dolphins money line for our number 1 pick, minus 115 odds on ESPN Bet. Okay, and at number 2, we got the under 41.5 points in the Titans-Cardinals game. We got minus 110 odds here on DraftKings, risking a unit here. Guys, Titans are 2nd worst, Cardinals 5th worst in yards per game. So we got 2 offenses that have really struggled to start the season. You got the Titans 32nd in points per game, Cardinals 23rd in points per game. So the question is either of these offenses going to put up, a big game? Is either of these offenses going to score like 30 or something? No, I don't think so. I think the Cardinals win this one pretty handily, but I think it's going to be relatively low scoring. I don't think the Cardinals are going to get too crazy. And meanwhile, the Titans, I think offensive struggles are going to continue to be there. Cam Ward has not been it yet. I mean, it's not all his fault. There's been a lot of problems on the offensive side for the Titans with drops and just different things like that. Their offense has just been pretty horrible. But Cam Ward does rank 32nd in QBR. He is dead last. So it definitely starts with him. He's got to be better. He's a rookie, still figuring it out. Not an easy task, once again, going on the road at Arizona. It doesn't get any easier for him. Cardinals have a pretty solid defense as well. So I think he'll struggle once again. Murray will have bits of success. I'm not saying, the Cardinals won't score in this one. But I definitely see the under here hitting with 2 teams that have really struggled to move the ball. Lack of explosiveness in this one should keep the scoring relatively low. In this one, like I said, there just hasn't been any explosiveness either really from either offense. So if there's going to be points in this, touchdowns, it's going to be a long scoring drive. I could see that happening. But like I said, that's very conducive for an under. And I think we'll see the under hit. So love it there for number 2 pick, guys. We got the under 41.5 points in the Titans-Cardinals game, minus 110 odds on DraftKings. Okay, and at number 3, we got Daniel Jones, 225 plus pass yards here for the Indianapolis Colts. We got minus 115 odds here on Fanatics. So guys, all of our props, I think combined, we have 4 props, and the hit rates on the season, all 4 combined, are 15 out of 16. So, I like the spot stay. It starts with Daniel Jones, who's 4 for 4 so far this season to this line, averaging 269.5 passing yards per game. We've also cashed the last 2 weeks with Daniel Jones on a line very similar to this. Obviously, it's gone up the last couple weeks. It's gone from 210, where we initially played it, up now to 225. It still isn't high enough, though. Like I've mentioned the last 2 weeks, his passing line should be at least 240. And he's averaged 245 over the last 2 weeks. So I think our projections of having him at 240 are right there. And like I said, versus a relatively bad defense, I'm always going to give him at least 240 here on the low end. And I think he's got potential to go for 280 to 300, honestly. He's averaging, his home average is 294 passing yards per game at home in 2 home games. So like I said, he's got potential to hit 300 in this one. We don't need him to do anything like that. Just 225 will do the trick. And the Raiders here, guys, ranking 22nd versus the pass this season. They've not been very good so far this season versus the pass. Not a great defense overall. Definitely a defense that the Colts could take advantage of here. PropStatCash has a projection on him of 232.6, so that's about 7 above the line here, 7-8 above the line, which we like that. And I think here, once again, I think you're going to see him have success. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to stop him in particular. Until they move this line up, we got to keep taking it, especially in an advantageous matchup. Like I said, he's not playing the Chiefs pass defense or nothing like that. He's playing against the Raiders, who, like I said, have struggled so far this season. They're allowing the 11th most yards per pass attempt this season. So this is definitely something where Daniel Jones can once again take advantage. I expect him to do so. So love it there for number 3 pick, guys. We got Daniel Jones, 225 plus passing yards here for the Indianapolis Colts, minus 115 odds here on Fanatics. Okay, and at number 4, we got some different markets to try to get us rolling with help from my friend Gotta Get the Bag. I started looking in these markets. He's like, Steve, you got to start looking into the longest reception, longest rush market. So I started looking into them. And let me just say, I like what I found. We got Quentin Johnston, over 23.5, longest reception here for the Los Angeles Chargers. We got minus 115 odds here on Fanatics. So guys, Quentin Johnston, 4 for 4 this season. Like we mentioned, our props pretty much have a 100% hit rate this season. 4 for 4 this season with an average long reception of 41.5 per game. His low that he's had in any game has been 33. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it. He's caught a 30-plus yard pass in every single game this season. And he's in it, once again, in a fantastic spot versus the Commanders, who allow a lot of big plays. So we'll touch on that here in a minute. But he's averaging 9 targets a game this year, and they're only going up. He's coming off a season high last week of 13 targets in week 4, so we love seeing that. I think once again here in week 5, you're going to see him with a lot of targets in a game where I think they're going to have to throw the football to keep up with the Commanders here. I think it should be a relatively high-scoring game in this one, and Johnson should get his opportunities. Commanders rank 31st in the longest reception category on defense. They're 20th in yards allowed after the reception. So they're really bad on both metrics as far as giving up a big pass and also allowing yards after the catch as well, which are 2 things that we love to have on something like this. Recent notable wide receiver catches this season versus the Commanders. Jacoby Myers had a 45-yarder. Drake London, 43. Malik Neighbors, 25. And Tucker for the Raiders, 61. So a lot of big plays are given up, and big plays. They allow the second most plays over 40 yards allowed this season, behind only the Cowboys. So I think here Johnson's a great candidate to go for just one 25-yarder will do the trick. Like I said, allowing the third most yards per pass attempt are the Commanders. So again, this is just a great spot for Johnson. I'm definitely expecting him to hit his over here today. Love this line, guys, and excited about this play. So love it there for number 4 pick. We got Quentin Johnston, over 23.5, longest reception, minus 115 odds on Fanatics for the LA Chargers. Okay, and at number 5, we got J.K. Dobbins, over 49.5 rushing yards here for the Denver Broncos. We're going minus 110 odds here on Rivers. So once again, Dobbins, 4 for 4 this season to this line, averaging 80.8 rushing yards per game. 2 for 2 on the road this season, averaging 79.5 rushing yards per game. A lot there to love right there, right? And then they're up against the Eagles defense, who's ranking right now 21st in rush yards allowed to running backs. They're also allowing 4.8 yards per carry this season, which is 26th in the NFL. So there's a lot here to like. An Eagles defense that run defense has not played very well this season, and once again, I think here J.K. Dobbins could take advantage of that. I know he's splitting carries to a degree here with R.J. Harvey, but even still, 50 yards is way too low here for Dobbins. He's coming off his best game of the season where he put up 100-plus yards last week. Like I said, R.J. Harvey is projected to get more of the carries than he's probably gotten in some ways, but Dobbins is still going to be the lead back here. And in this spot, the Broncos really should look to establish Dobbins for sure on the road in a game versus a very good Eagles team. You want to get that run game going to set up the throw, and they should be able to do so, like I said, versus this defense. This is absolutely a great spot for him. So, I mean, the fact that his average is 80 per game and he's up against a suspect run defense, to me, I have to take that. I think this is just too good of a spot here on Dobbins. I think he should be able to cash this relatively easily. So, load there for number 5 pick, guys. We got J.K. Dobbins over 49.5 rushing yards here for the Denver Broncos. We got minus 110 odds here on Bet Rivers. Okay, and finally at number 6, we got Jamison Williams over 23.5. Longest reception here for the Detroit Lions. We got minus 110 odds here on Fanatics. Risking a unit here. This is the only one where we have one missed hit on him. He's 3 for 4 this season to this line with an average long of 31.5. We know Jamison Williams is a big play threat receiver. That is like his MO with his speed and everything like that. So here, I really like it, obviously, versus the Bengals. You guys are familiar with how bad the Bengals defense is. Here versus the Bengals, they do rank 16th in longest reception category. They allow the most yards, though, after the catch. Which is obviously very good. We saw Williams' targets jump from last week to a season high 8 last week. So once again, coming off a season high in targets, which you'd love to see that. He's another one of these guys that could tear the top off the defense. He's one of the best ones, honestly, at doing that. That's really his thing that he's known for is his speed. Notable recent cashes versus the Bengals. Justin Jefferson, 36. Marvin Mims, 28. Trey Franklin, 23. Cortland Sutton didn't cash his line at 22.5, but he got to 22, so he was pretty close as well. Tillman and Judy for the Browns both had 25 on the longest reception. So it's interesting when you look at the Bengals. They haven't allowed the most like 40-plus yard plays, like really big plays, but they've allowed the 5th most plays of 20-plus, which is pretty close to what we need here. We only need 24 here from Jamison Williams. So when you consider that, they give up a lot of like big-ish plays, and then they're able to make the tackle. So I think it's going to be right in that range for Williams, but I think we're getting a better end of the number. I would say the number should be closer, to 27 to 30 range is what I'm projecting him to get. So it's kind of interesting when you look at that, though. Like, they allow a lot of big pass plays, but not like big pass plays. But all we need, essentially, if we get a 20-plus with Jamison, I'm willing to bet he's going to get you to that 24 mark. So love it there for number 6 pick, guys. We got Jamison Williams over 23.5, longest reception, minus 110 odds on Fanatics. Then, of course, for the Sweep Parlay, which is plus 49, 11 odds on Fanatics with our 20% profit boost that they give us. So love this, obviously, today, guys. We can make almost 5 units today with our 1/10 of a unit risk here on this parlay. Obviously, they're tough to hit, but if we can hit this, obviously, it'd be very good. And then we have a anytime touchdown parlay for you guys, as well as our 8th pick, our final pick here, which is plus 1264 odds on Fanatics. We're risking a quarter of a unit here. We got 3 guys here to score a touchdown. Jake Ferguson in this game versus the Jets, which is a great tight end matchup here. We saw the Jets get torched by Waller last week, right, with 2 touchdown catches. We're looking for Ferguson to go back-to-back weeks now to catch a touchdown. He caught one last week. And obviously now with no CD Lamb, he is a bona fide red zone target for the Cowboys. We saw it last week. So love seeing that. And Garrett Wilson, anytime touchdown. We know how bad the Cowboys' defense has been versus wide receivers. That's been very well documented. 32nd. They're dead last. So Garrett Wilson should get some good looks. And obviously coming off that crazy touchdown catch he had last week, and he was still barking. He's like, get me the ball sooner. He wants more looks, and he should get more because he makes crazy plays even in traffic. I expect him fully to catch a touchdown here. And then Michael Pittman Jr. to catch a touchdown as well. He's actually caught a touchdown in 3 out of 4 games, which is pretty good. And we talked about how much we like the passing yards there on Danny Jones. This kind of goes with that. Pittman should get some looks down in the red zone as well. So really love these 3 guys to score, guys. That's our anytime touchdown parlay, plus 1264 odds on Fanatics, risking a quarter of a unit. All right, guys, that is it for our picks. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Big video today. This is our biggest picks video of the season. So enjoy it. Let's make some money. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we will catch you back here for Sunday Night Football. Peace out.